President Bongbong Marcos says he told Congress not to file an impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. Marcos makes the pronouncement after being asked to confirm a text message he supposedly sent to House leaders, which surfaced on Thursday, November 28.
Well, it was actually private communication, but nalik na, yes. Because that's really my opinion. This is not important. This does not make any difference to even one single Filipino life. So why waste time on it?
Marcos further points out that an impeachment complaint would only tie down both chambers of Congress.
What will happen to if somebody files an impeachment? It will tie down the House, it will tie down the Senate, it will just take up all the time, and for what? For nothing. For nothing. None of this will help improve a single Filipino life.
This comes amid a worsening political rift between Marcos and Duterte. The vice president earlier said she already instructed someone to kill the president, the first lady, and the House Speaker if she herself gets killed. Marcos himself said he will not tolerate such criminal threats, declaring he will fight back against it. The vice president has repeatedly defended her remarks, saying she was taken out of context. Calls for Duterte's impeachment also come amid a probe by the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability into alleged fund misuse at the office of the Vice President in the Department of Education. Vice President Sara Duterte is a no-show at the National Bureau of Investigation on Friday, November 29, after the agency summoned her to explain her supposed kill order against President Bongbong Marcos. Instead, she sends her lawyer to ask for a resetting of her appearance in the Bureau's headquarters in Manila. NBI Director Jaime Santiago says Duterte's lawyer asked for a rescheduling due to an ongoing House of Representatives hearing that was supposedly scheduled for Friday. The House of Representatives earlier canceled Friday's investigation to give way to the NBI's investigation. The House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability is currently investigating the alleged fund misuse of the office of the Vice President in the Department of Education under Duterte's leadership. However, Santiago says the Vice President's counsel said that they were informed late by the Congress. According to Santiago, the Vice President will be required to appear at the NBI on December 11. The NBI issued a subpoena against Duterte on Monday, November 25, after the Vice President publicly said she had contracted a person to kill Marcos, First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, and House Speaker Martin Romualdez should an alleged plan to eliminate her succeed. Malacanang tagged her remarks as an active threat, with the president saying he will fight back. Duterte has repeatedly insisted her statements were taken out of context. Indonesia plans to return Mary Jane Veloso to the Philippines by the end of the year, according to a minister. Senior Minister Yusril Iza Mahendra says the transfer of Veloso, as well as prisoners from Australia and France, will hopefully be completed at the end of December. The announcement comes after Yusril said last week that Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto had approved the transfer of Veloso. The Indonesian minister reiterates Jakarta's preference for her detainees to complete their jail time back home. Yusril also says if the other countries want to give amnesty, the Indonesian government will respect it. Veloso said last week she was very elated after hearing she may soon return home. Veloso was arrested in Indonesia in 2010, carrying a suitcase lined with 2.6 kilograms of heroin and later sentenced to death by firing squad. Veloso's family maintained that she was duped into signing for a non-existent job abroad as a domestic worker and was not aware the suitcase given to her by the recruiter contained hidden drugs. Her case sparked uproar in the Philippines, with her family and supporters saying Veloso was innocent and was set up by an international drug syndicate. In 2015, Veloso's execution was delayed after a woman suspected of recruiting her was arrested and put on trial for human trafficking in a case in which Veloso was named as a prosecution witness. China says it was conducting air and naval patrols around the contested Scarborough Shoal in the West Philippine Sea to supposedly defend its national sovereignty. In a statement on Thursday, November 28, the Chinese military's Southern Theater Command says the so-called combat readiness patrols were to strengthen vigilance in the sea and airspace around the territorial areas of Scarborough Shoal, which it calls Wangyan Dao. It adds that China has organized air and naval forces throughout November. In early November, China declared its own baselines of the territorial sea adjacent to Scarborough Shoal after President Bongbong Marcos signed two laws defining the Philippines' maritime zones and sea lanes. Beijing claims the waters around Scarborough Shoal, a chain of reefs that it seized from the Philippines in 2012. The triangular chain of reefs and rocks is 240 kilometers west of the Philippines' main island of Luzon and nearly 900 kilometers from the nearest major Chinese landmass of Hainan. A July 2016 International Tribunal ruling effectively invalidated Beijing's claim over the entire South China Sea and affirmed Manila's exclusive sovereign rights over the West Philippine Sea. The landmark decision also included Scarborough Shoal, which was declared a traditional fishing ground that the Philippines, China, and Vietnam should share.